morning, friends. Happy December 2nd or day 2 of Vlogmas. I hope you can hear me all right. I thought I'd take just this rare opportunity to film outdoors. It's not too windy at the moment, so hopefully you're not getting too much interference and you can hear me fine. I also hope that you have all survived Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all of that madness without too much stress and no regrets. This is just a quick introduction to tell you that today I am going to be working on a knitting project with you. It is probably on the bigger side of the projects that I will be sharing with you this month, and I will also be unboxing a couple of advents from Lisa of EleventyOne Windmills. So I hope you join me for those. I am trying something new with the videos for this Vlogmas, and it requires a new setup. I am only just setting it up for the first time and it feels very precarious and like it could fall over. I thought I would share it with you. That is my tripod on my side table, and I feel like the legs could just slip off at any moment while I am recording, and I'm not sure if the height is right either, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, well here we are, all set up and ready to go. I have my yarn here, which is Sasawashi yarn that I bought from Daruma when I went to Japan, and as you can see it is not a normal yarn. I think it's made out of like some kind of paper or something. Is washi paper in Japan? I probably should have looked that up. Anyway, I only bought this one hank because I had no idea what I would make with it, and it was a bit of a struggle to find a pattern to go with it, and I've got a couple of needles here, but before I get started I will share the pattern with you. So the one I have chosen to make is by Mirella Moments. It is a free pattern, but it is this headband here. So because I had such a small amount of yarn, I kind of knew that I'd want to make a headband or do something that was just going to need the one ball, because I obviously can't, well, I mean I can't really easily pair this with just any other yarn in my stash. So I am just going to get started. The idea with this video is obviously you're just going to watch me work and I'm going to chat to you, and we will see how long this goes. Okay, so let me just check. So I need to cast on, and it looks like I am starting with an I-cord. So that sounds pretty easy, and it's just an I-cord with 2 stitches. So as you can see, I haven't wound this into a proper cake or anything. Let's see how that goes. I'm just going to chuck it on the yarn butlers that I have set up beside me and hope that that keeps it from getting too tangled, because I can see it will probably want to get really tangled up on me. This is the end from the inside that I've got. Can I find the end? Yes, there's the end from the outside. Alright, let's pop that down there. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so cast on 2 stitches. It's probably a longer tail than I need. Let's get it as small as we can, shall we? 1, 2 stitches there. Oh yeah, that's feeling like quite stiff. I hope this works out. This pattern calls for a sport weight yarn. Oops, cast on, do not turn, silly me. I know how to work I-cords. It calls for a sport weight yarn, and this yarn doesn't actually have, I'm Oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm wishing I had metal DPNs. Actually, you know what? I think I do. I'm just not loving the wood with it. I'm just going to reach over and hope that I don't knock the camera over. Let's see. So the DPNs that I had pulled out there were 3.5 millimeter. Oh, my metal DPNs aren't here. Oh, where are they? Do I have them in a project bag? Sorry guys, this is not really working very well so far. I will reach down here. Are they in this bag? Yes. They're in the bag right beside me, thankfully. So the DPNs that I had out previously were 3.5 mil. These ones I've just yanked out are 3 mil. I had 3.5, these are 3 mil. So let's see if this is a little bit easier to work with this unusual yarn. It shouldn't be a problem that I am using 3 mil, don't turn, because the pattern actually calls for a 3 millimeter needles and sport weight yarn. This yarn doesn't have a weight to it on Ravelry, but the recommended hook size is 3 to 4 millimeters. So because I know that I am a tight knitter, I thought that I would just size up as I usually do, because obviously this kind of pattern doesn't really need a swatch. And yeah, usually it's safe for me to size up, and this is quite fiddly. I'm sure crocheting this would be easier than trying to knit it. I'm going to be really annoying and start again. I'm not enjoying working from the outside of this ball here, so I'm going to try to find that inside end, here it is, that I was originally working with. Hopefully this will be a bit easier. I don't think it's going to be. Anyway, blah blah blah. Bob, get to it. Just start. Oh goodness. It's already been how long and I haven't done accomplished anything? Alright. I'm really fussy about my tails. I like them to be as short as possible. I don't know if I was in the middle of a thought there that I haven't finished and I've left you all hanging. Sorry about that. I am using 3 millimeter needles, which is what the pattern calls for, and it is within the range of hook sizes. I think I was saying that, yeah, I can feel that because this is stiff, I can see how crochet would be easier to work with, or an easier, oh my goodness, an easier method of working this yarn. But I spent quite a bit of time researching patterns, and I guess like this pattern which is the Wheat Headband, it just ticked like all of the boxes that I needed it to tick. One was that I would use tools that are within the recommended size range, because I don't want to be messing around and guessing with a material that is so new to me, and I have no idea how it behaves or anything like that. So that was one of my criteria for choosing this pattern. And another one is, of course, the meterage. Like I said, I only have one ball of this, so I needed to find a pattern that was ideally less, and I believe this pattern calls for a yarn amount that is something like, it's really close. It's like, I'd say it's within 20 meters of, well, it's 20 meters less than the yardage or the meterage that I have in this yarn. And because it's the type of headband that you tie on instead of it needing to be elastic and you stretch it over your head, it kind of just fit the bill, I felt. So we shall see if it works out. So I'm supposed to be knitting this I-cord until it is 28 centimeters or desired length, and I'm just going to go with what the pattern says, 28 centimeters. So I'm finding it hard to grab. I feel like I totally could have just started off with like crocheting a cord, but I can't. I'm not going to start again on you guys. That was already such a long and messy start. I am just going to keep going, but I am liking how it's looking. I do need to pay a bit of attention. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to continue talking once I get into the pattern bit. So it's quite lucky that the start of this pattern is so simple. It's just a 2-stitch I-cord, which allows me to talk and give you that bit of an introduction to what I'm doing and how today's video is going to work. So this style of video that's like a top-down, just watching hands work, me chatting at you style, it's one that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, but I haven't been able to find the time to do it. But I have found that I've enjoyed watching other people make this kind of video, because it's kind of, it feels like, because I usually watch them while I am knitting or doing some other kind of crafting, but let's be honest, it's mainly knitting. And I like that I don't necessarily need to look up as much, because with knitting podcasts, you kind of want to look up and see what they are talking about and what they are showing you. And of course that happens too with this kind of video, depending on what kind of project the person is making. Like, you know, there may be sections that you want to see how they do something, or want to see how something is looking, or for embroidery ones, for example, maybe they're showing you an effect or a new type of stitch or something like that. But that's looking funny there. Can't really block this. Let's just give it a yank. Yeah. Oh, I'm really liking how this I-cord is looking. But yeah, anyway, so I've liked doing my crafting while watching these kinds of videos, because it really does feel like we're crafting together, and I've thought that was really nice. So next year I do want to get back into the podcasting. At the moment though, I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'll alternate a speaking to you face-to-face type of podcast with this kind of hands down working on a project type of podcast. And yeah, so, but this Vlogmas is going to kind of be a bit of a trial run of how that goes. I have planned out 16 days worth of projects for you guys. I was just sort of making a list of small things that I could do. Some of them are going to be like, whoopsies, some of them are going to be quite small and simple. Like I said before, this is one of the bigger projects, but some of them are just going to be things like sewing on buttons, which may not be very exciting, but will hopefully, you know, give me an opportunity to chat to you and at least show you how I do things. But yeah, it was interesting when I was making the list. I didn't have a set number of projects planned. I kind of just wanted to see how many I could come up with that were small enough to do in this kind of format every single day of December. And I sort of listed as many I could think of that I thought could be appropriate. And it kind of just worked out that I found that I had like 4 mending projects, 4 crochet projects, and 4 knitting projects. Or I think it would have actually been like maybe one of those categories had 3. And I knew that I also wanted to get some small cross-stitching projects in there too. So I picked 4 cross-stitching projects, and I just made sure that I had 4 of each type of craft. So then I put them all in an order so that I'd be presenting like a nice variety to you, and hopefully you'll find this interesting and want to join me for those. So today, obviously, I am knitting, and then I think after knitting it is going to be a cross-stitch day, and then after cross-stitch it's going to be a crochet day. No, that's not right. I mean, you'll see what it ends up being. I have all of this planned out in a calendar somewhere. I think actually it's knit, then mend, then crochet, then cross stitch. And some of these will be Christmas focused projects, because I love Christmas, as you can see by my nails. I don't know if you can see the chips in them already, but I never have luck with nails, which is why I don't paint them often, also because I am lazy, but they just chip really quickly on me. I only just painted my nails last night, and by the time I went to bed, I mean, I only painted them in the evening, and then by the time I went to bed they'd already chipped. And I did put top coats. I probably need to put a base coat, but I have found that even when I do a base coat, the nail polish and the top coat, it still chips really easily. And I don't know if it's something to do with my nails. I don't know if maybe, I don't think it's the nail polish that I'm buying, because I'm not buying cheap and nasty nail polish, and I have like 3 different brands or something like that, possibly more, that I use and go between, and they all just do it. So it's got to be something about my nails or my technique or something. Anyway, I've gotten sidetracked. Not that there's really a plan. I have like the vaguest idea of the things that I can talk about today, but I haven't really planned anything out. I did want to say a little bit more about about this kind of video that I'm doing and why I've chosen to do it. So basically, towards the start of this year, I came across a channel, K3N Cloth Tales, and I really loved it. I really enjoyed watching her videos. Her name's Catherine, and she is a slow stitcher. And I did the thing that I usually do of going back to the very, very beginning of someone's channel and watching everything, pretty much everything that they have. And I really enjoyed, you know, what she was doing and how she was sharing her life and just chatting away and sharing, you know, things that she's learned, things that she's working on. And that was the first one that I really started watching that was in this style of like top-down view of crafting. And I mean, I've seen other videos like that here and there, of course, but they were always just kind of like random, specific things. Like if I was, you know, looking up a tutorial on how to do things, they're all in this kind of style. She's the first one that I really sort of watched a series of videos on, though, and I have since watched more people doing videos like this. One of them is Arne and Carlos, who have some videos where they do this kind of style. Usually it's Arne working on a project and Carlos doing most of the chatting, but I really like that too, because it's kind of always more fun, and like I like the back and forth when it's multiple people, more than one person having a conversation. That's always really nice. But obviously this is just me. And the other one that I've sort of been watching a little bit of recently is Sashiko Story, but that one, they are, because again, I've gone back to the early videos in that channel and I'm going through them, and for that one, they're mostly in Japanese. I did try watching a few of them, but because I did a beginner's Japanese course recently, but I could not follow along at all. For one thing, they talk too quickly, and for another, I mean, I've only done one 8-week course. I have not learned enough to understand, anything like that. But it was fun when I could recognize words here and there, but obviously that's still not enough to understand everything that he was saying. He does have some English videos, and he has tutorials and things like that in English as well. But I'd say they're the main ones that I watch that are in this style. How long is that? I think my hand span is about 20 centimeters, so I still need a little bit to go. I think that like this distance, where are you? This distance for me is like 10 centimeters. My hand span is, I think, just under 20 centimeters. And then, what is it? I do something like this width is 5 centimeters. That's kind of fun to know when you don't have a tape measure on you, or when you're too lazy to get one, that you can sort of guesstimate. If this was a one of my normal knitting projects that I do my usual keeping track of it in a project notebook and that kind of thing, I'd totally be completely anal about it and keeping track of how many rows of I-cord I am knitting, so that when I get to the other side I can do it exactly the same. But clearly I am not bothering with that. I do have a row counter right beside me actually that I'm not using. This is from Twill and Print. It is one of their spring ones. I got spring, autumn and winter. I think I just didn't get summer, but anyway, kind of matches this fabric that I've got, which is also fabric that I bought in Japan, and would really like to sew the pattern that I bought for it. Yeah. I wonder if any of you have watched this style of video, and if there's anyone that you really like who does this kind of video that you can recommend to me. And of course, there may be moments during this where I don't have anything to say, and it is just silent, and you can just watch me work. But you know, with the ones that I watch, even when that happens, I don't mind, because again, it just makes it feel like natural, like you're in the room, and you know, well, there's a lull in the conversation. That's fine. You're both just focusing on what you're making, what you're crafting on. Also, I'm not used to talking this much while I work on projects. I'm usually watching other knitting YouTube channels or other crafting YouTube channels, so I'm not used to chatting at you. But also, once this I-cord is finished and I get into the pattern, I don't know how much I really will be able to chat while I am, you know, reading a pattern and trying to pay attention to what I am doing and where I am in the pattern and all of that fun kind of stuff. See, there's kind of some uneven, it's very uneven. Let's blame that on the nature of the yarn, shall we? Interesting that like it has, you know, the nature of an I-cord has like the slightest amount of give to it, where the yarn itself has none. Oh, that's totally not 28 centimeters, but let's check my handspan again, shall we? Yeah, not there yet. Still a little way to go. So like I said, I have pretty much completely planned out my Vlogmas days. Yesterday, I know, was like quite a short and simple one. All that I did have planned for it was putting out decorations, and I know that we don't really have many there that are for like a tabletop display, or you know, like not to be displayed on a tree. So I knew that that wouldn't take long and there wouldn't really be much to share, but I really am trying to keep this very simple, because you know, everyone's lives are busy, but in December more so, if you, especially, you know, if you celebrate Christmas or if you have another holiday or other events to celebrate. It is actually, you know, speaking of other celebrations, it's actually my eldest nephew's birthday today. He's turning 11. There's no way he watches this, but happy birthday, Max. His present hasn't arrived yet because I ordered it a bit late. But that's alright. And then a week ago was his sister's birthday. And then, let's see, in a couple of weeks, it is my best friend's birthday. And then, at the very, very end of the year, New Year's Eve, it is my younger sister's birthday. So, aside from Christmas, which is quite a big event in my family, there's still lots of like other occasions to celebrate as well. And I do also have a cousin whose birthday is the 30th of December, and she and my sister always used to just have a joint birthday / New Year's Eve party for them on New Year's Eve, obviously. But since, you know, that was when we were kids, since we've all grown up and become adults, that's stopped happening. My family still does New Year's Eve parties, but they're not, they're really more focused on the New Year's Eve and not about the birthdays at all. My sister is actually pretty much never there. She was living in London for ages, but she has come back to Australia with her family, and she is usually away she goes away for her birthday. Ooh, I feel like I should check again where we are at. And oopsies, don't take your needles out. That was silly. Lucky this yarn is so stiff. Alright. The only ruler I have on hand at the moment is this sock ruler that I bought on Etsy quite a while ago. So it's great because it has you know, an inches side and a centimeter side, and as you can see, it also has some shoe sizes there. So on the centimeter side we've got men's and women's in European sizes and centimeters, and on the other side it's UK and inches. So the only one missing is US, but I kind of usually just use centimeters as much as possible, because I just feel like that's the most accurate. Anyway, getting sidetracked again. Let's put that to the end. 25. I've got like 3 centimeters to go. Let's just leave that there. Oh, actually, that's going to clang, isn't it? We don't want it to clang, do we? No. That's not going to be very pleasant for you guys to listen to. 28 centimeters or 11 inches is what the pattern says. This free pattern on Mirella Moments. I did find it through Ravelry. I wasn't just searching the whole internet. I know that not everyone can use Ravelry, which I think is such a real shame. I haven't actually followed the talk about it. I don't know if that is something that Ravelry has addressed, because it was quite a while ago when people were talking about how there are some accessibility issues with Ravelry after they did some update to their site. Luckily for me, they never really impacted me, although I do actually think before I heard other people complaining about it, I think I did notice that sometimes I would get headaches when I was looking at Ravelry. But even before I heard all of the conversation about it, I think that was when I realized I could switch the website to dark mode or something like that, and I kind of prefer that wherever I can use that anyway, just because I do think it is a bit easier on the eyes, and since I did that, I haven't had issues. So I don't know if that was what the issue was about. Anyway, yeah, I love using Ravelry, and I think that all of the filters that they have for searching patterns are so wonderful and really help you narrow down really easily what you're looking for, which was obviously super duper helpful when I was looking for something to do with this yarn. Alright, let's see, so put the one, whoopsies, put that at the end there. Ooh. Hold it, where are we? Hey, pretty much. Can you see? There's the 25, 26, 27, 28, woohoo! Alright, now I'm going to put this ruler away again and scroll down this pattern. Increases, I have some increases to do. Alright, okay, let's see how I go. Oh, just double check. They're make ones. Make one right, make one left. Alright, I know how to do that. Sometimes patterns do tell you to do those things differently, of course, so I try I try to always remember to check. Oh, actually, I'm supposed to be turning my work now. I try to check what the pattern, what's it called? Is it the legend? Oh, my brain's not working. You know, where they tell you what all of their notations mean exactly. Oh, make ones aren't going to be fun in this. Oh, can I think there's not enough give in this yarn. Oh, that's just like, oh, look at that. No, I can do it. I can just do it. All right. Yeah. That was a make one left, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so for example, what I'm trying to say is that is a make one like I usually do, and like I know make ones to be, where you lift up the strand in between the two stitches to make the increase. But was it the most recent West Knits MCAL, the musical, I think, where the make one in that pattern was actually a, whoops, see, talking and I'm already messing up. Did I do that right? Extension, it's meant to be a purl. Anyway, yeah, so the make one in that pattern was actually a backwards loop. So if I couldn't have done the make one, the lifting up the strand style of make one there, I would have just done the backwards loop, and that would have been fine. I hope. So I should have plenty of yarn to finish this pattern, because like I said, the pattern calls for a bit less yarn than the yardage that I have. But if I find I don't have enough, hopefully I will still at least have enough to even just do like a crochet chain, which I know won't match, and I will try not to let that bother me, but we shall see. If this video gets like too ridiculously long, I might actually stop talking at some point and just like fast forward the rest. I didn't make note of the time when I started. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? Okay, trying to lift up just the one strand. Get it in. I can't believe that's working. Way, and come on the left, come on, yeah, awesome, that's working, it's working, yay. I don't really use headbands, but I want to. Why do I want to? I don't know. It's because, no, I do know, that's a lie, yes. It's because I like wearing my hair out. But as you will have seen from my videos, my hair gets really frizzy and unmanageable. So I'm hoping a headband helps it look neater while I can still have it out. But also, sometimes having my hair around my face annoys me, and I just want to get it out of the way, but I don't necessarily like just scrolling the pattern, sorry. I don't necessarily like tying it up all the time. I don't think that's really great for hair to do that. But I do it nearly every day. Just because it's easy. Can't always do, or shouldn't always do, what's easy. I could have also found a like a much simpler pattern to do, or made one up, you know, where if I had just knit this in garter stitch or something like that, then it totally would have been fine to use as a headband. But I wanted it to be a little bit pretty. Why not? Why not be pretty? When I was in the shop, they had a few samples of things that this yarn is made out of, and if you do use Ravelry and you look up this yarn, you'll be able to see projects yourself if you wanted to. But there were a lot of like hats and bags and things of that nature. But obviously it would be a pretty tiny bag, and it wouldn't really function as a hat if I tried to use my solo little skein of yarn, hank of yarn, whatever you call it, to make something like that. I mean, it could have just been like a mini one that isn't really used and is just meant to be like a cute thing on display. But I didn't really want that, did I? No. This way. I keep doing make one rights when I should be doing make one lefts. I predict that my hands are going to be sore at the end of this project. Goodness, this one doesn't want to come through. I'm holding my needles so tight to work those stitches that I am sure that if I was using the wooden DPNs, I would totally snap them. And we don't want that, do we? I have done that before. Not with those particular DPNs, not with that brand. I haven't broken any of them yet. Maybe because they're short, I wouldn't actually snap them and it would be fine. I think the ones that I snapped because I was holding onto them too tightly, I think they were longer and probably thinner as well, so you know, just inherently more fragile. I'm just thinking, I kind of wish I probably should have scrolled and just checked if this pattern has a chart instead of reading the instructions row by row, but I can't be bothered now that I have started. I can't be bothered checking. Plus, you know, it's a free pattern on a blog. I kind of doubt that it would have them on the right row. Yeah. I don't think I can go too badly wrong with this, really. I swear I usually can knit a bit faster than this too, but the unfamiliarity, is that a word, of the yarn and the stiffness of it is slowing me down. I'm sure you can understand that. Kind of make out the pattern a little bit there, how it's got that central column of knits. The other thing that I sort of wanted to mention today was just that I was so tired yesterday, which is, well, I mean, I'd already planned what the video was going to be, but I was pretty grateful that it was such a short and simple one because I did not get much sleep. According to my Apple Watch, I got about 5 hours sleep, but that includes a sleep-in. I have always had insomnia forever and ever and ever. What row did I just do? Okay, that row. But growing up, it was mainly sleep onset insomnia. So I have trouble, or had always had trouble falling asleep. And that has gotten better now with, you know, things that I try to do to try to ensure that I am getting enough sleep or that I get to sleep. It doesn't always work. And sometimes I definitely do still have trouble falling asleep. Ooh, this one's really tight. Tight. I wonder how far along I am. I'm totally not going to finish this today. Hopefully I'll at least get to halfway and be able to share at least half of this project with you. And then maybe wear it on one of the other days. Here I am getting sidetracked again. I have always had insomnia. I have always had trouble falling asleep. I am a bit better now about falling asleep most of the time, but the main problem I have been having lately is actually sleep maintenance insomnia. So I'll wake up a lot during the night, some nights, but the problem the night before last night was actually that I woke up really early, which I have done a few times in recent days, and is really annoying and not fun at all. What did I just do? Was that a pearl? That was a pearl. Pearl stitch. Yeah, so I probably fell asleep around midnight or after midnight, more likely, and then I woke up at like 2:30, around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and just could not get back to sleep. My mind just would not turn off, and I just kept thinking about all of the things that I have to do, things that are coming up, silly things that I really don't need to like plan ahead or be thinking about at 3 a.m. And have them be preventing my sleep. They're not really big, pressing, life-changing, whatever problems or tasks or events. But still, my mind just didn't want to shut down. So I played on my phone for a little bit, which is interesting because this game that I play, which is logic puzzles, when I play that when I first get into bed, I get really sleepy playing it, and it works really well then. But in the middle of the night, it did not distract me enough and do enough to quiet my mind, sadly. So after I did that, I put on my sleep headphones, which are really fantastic. They're like a headband, and the speakers are sort of like built in to, like, you know, where your ears would be, where your ears are. So like you can still kind of feel them. I'm a side sleeper, so yeah, I sleep on my ear and I can still like kind of feel it there, but it's pretty comfortable and it stays in place. And I think it's really, really fantastic. I am not going to remember where my one came from. Actually, in fact, it was a Christmas present. It was something that I'd put on a KK wish list, so I did provide the one that I liked, but I'm not going to remember what that was. Anyway, I put that on and I listened to a couple of different sleep meditations, and they didn't work. So the next thing that I tried was listening to like sleep music. That didn't work. I think the meditation that I listened to was like 40 minutes long, and then the music that I listened to, I think it was like a 3-hour long track or something like that, but I only listened to I only listened to maybe an hour and a half of it before I was like, this just isn't working. I am still completely wide awake. So sorry, hang on, pause. feel like I don't have enough stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put that down. Which row am I on? Hang on. I'm just going to undo this row and then look at the most recent row that I finished and just make sure I can see what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, what have I worked here? 2 knits, 2 purls, a knit, 2 purls, 2 knits. Alright. 2 knits, 2 purls. Okay, I was working ahead. I was working the row below the row that I should have been working. Anyway, yes, so after I gave up on listening to the music, I tried listening to white noise, which I can't remember if I've tried it before. I think it was like okay. I do feel like my mind quietened a bit more while listening to the white noise. It was I felt like it was almost like interrupting my thoughts, which was good, but I was still feeling pretty awake. So while I was listening to the white noise, I tried another trick that I had heard of in the past, of, you know, like going through something fairly mundane in your head, because, you know, your mind just wants, it's like it's thinking, but if you give it something boring to think of, then hopefully then it will get bored and just put you to sleep. And it's a trick that I forget often, or like I haven't tried very often. Actually, I think the last time that I tried it, I was trying to think of like something that I do every day. I'd heard someone talk about, just like plan out in your head something like really mundane that you do. So I was thinking, okay, in the morning, what is my routine in the morning? And just going through it like very, very step by step, and being like, okay, I wake up, I brush my teeth, I then put moisturizer on, and then I do this, and then I do that, blah, blah, blah. But when I was doing it that way, I was finding that it wasn't really working. I like my mind would, this is really tight. Like my mind would get distracted, start thinking about other things, and then I'd realize, and then I'd go back to thinking, oh, I need to start again. I need to try doing that again. Why is my stitch count wrong? Knit 2, purl 2, make one right, knit 1, make one left. Oh, it's actually right, I just can't count. I think I saw this, that was flipped up like that, and I thought I had an extra stitch. Anyway, what was I saying? So that hadn't really worked for me, but then on an episode of Bakery Bears that I recently watched, not one that they recently put out, because again, as usual, I have gone back to the very beginning, and I am still watching videos from like 7 years ago. But in one of those there, Dan talked about a technique that he's used, where he it's the same kind of idea, but for him, he was listing things, like he was going through the alphabet and listing things. So I tried that, and I just picked, actually the first thing that I tried to do was like list sheep breeds. And then I was like, I don't know that many sheep breeds, and it just felt a bit like aimless. And I really don't know that many sheep breeds. So anyway, the second thing that I tried was going through the alphabet and listing animals, and I wasn't just doing like one thing for A, one thing for B, etc., etc. I was trying to come up with at least 3 or 4 animals for each letter of the alphabet, and I was laughing at myself at some points of it because I could think of some animals that were so easy. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure I didn't even think of cat for C, and when I was on D, I could not think of animals. I was really struggling to think. I was like, what animal starts with D? There aren't any animals that start with D. There's a dragon. Dragon starts with a D. I guess I'll say dragon. And it took me like a fair bit of thinking to realize, oh, hello, dog, dolphin. And then I think the 4th animal that I had was D. But obviously I was tired. I couldn't even think of dog. Anyway, that worked really well. The last thing I remember is getting to the letter F and listing animals for the letter F, and then I must have fallen asleep. And that probably would have been at like 6 or 7 in the morning. Yeah, very frustrating. Right, these, I think the reason that these make ones are really tight is because there is only 1 stitch in between them, so the yarn is already being pulled tight. Is this the row that I'm up to? Didn't I just do... What did I just do? Let's look at these stitches. I have knit 3, no, knit 4. Did I do... Just tink back this row again and try to look at where I am. Okay, what have we got here? Knit 4, purl 3, knit 4. Underneath that is This I think, is that an increase? Yeah, that's an increase there. So this bump, that's the increase row. Yeah, that's totally the increase row, isn't it? Because there's a stitch. Yeah, okay. That's the increase row, and then since the increase row, yep. Okay, again, I had jumped ahead. I need to think of a easier way to help me keep track of my rows. Usually I would chuck a pattern into Knit Companion, and then that has its handy dandy little tools to help you keep track of your rows and mark where you are up to in a pattern. But because this is on a blog, I figured I would just use the blog page and not bother like exporting it out into a PDF that I can then read on Knit Companion, because that just seemed like too much effort for something that honestly I will probably only make this one time. Oh, I just thought of another knitting project that I could have added to this list. I'll have to think if I want to replace one of my other projects that I have planned. Not that you know what any of that is. I wonder if any of you guys have worked with a paper yarn before. and how you found it. Did you knit with it or did you do some other craft? I really think I probably should have looked harder for a crochet pattern that would have worked, because this kind of yarn would really have been so much easier to work with when doing crochet. Oh well, I'm sure I'll still be happy with how it turns out. Nope, why did you do a pearl? There's not a pearl there, silly. But yeah, so I was really, really tired yesterday. That's what I was trying to say. Super duper tired and out of it and just like groggy, and it was just not a fun day. So I was grateful that I only had a small activity that I needed to film. The advent that I'm going to be opening today is, oh actually before I say that, this is what I was going to say before. The reason that I have so much trouble when I do the make one lefts is because there's this make one right here, which is already pulling on the yarn that forms this stitch in the middle, this one that I'm about to work next. So because this stitch is already pulled tight, and then the make one left is immediately after it, it doesn't have as much give, unless I really yank it like I did just then, to be stretched and pulled so that I can make this make one left. I think I just really need to be aware that I've got to give it a really good yank. Anyway, yes. So on the even days of this here Vlogmas that you are watching, I am going to be opening advents from EleventyOne Windmills. Like I said yesterday, I had not intended to get advents at all. And then, of course, Tess of Fluff and Nonsense lured me in. And then, even more recently, Lisa put up a post. The only advents that I have bought previously are from EleventyOne Windmills. I think she is a brilliant and creative designer. I love, you know, her all of the tools that she comes up with. They're so beautifully done. You can really see the artistry and thought that goes into them. There's such a variety. They're just fabulous. They're really great. But then also she had been doing collaborations with yarn dyers as well. If you're not aware, she had been doing a thing where for each of the minis, each mini is done by a different indie Aussie yarn dyer, which I thought was such a cool idea. Has she only done that? I think she only did that for the first time last year, and I got that one, and I also got her tools advent last year, and I loved them both. But this year I was trying not to do advents, even though I was sorely tempted because she was doing the same yarny thing again. But her thing was rainforest, which is cool, but I was like, I'm not like, I don't love the theme like I love the Hobbit theme that Fluff and Nonsense has done. I got the first advent that I ever got was the EleventyOne Windmills one, where the theme was like creatures of myth and folklore, and I love that theme, so I got that. And yeah, so while rainforests is cool, and I think there's obviously so much that I imagine she can do with that, with the flora and fauna and all the fun, bright colors that you could draw from with that as your inspiration. I hadn't planned to get it. How many times have I said that? I am being so kulit. If you don't know Tagalog, which you probably don't, kulit, I am being repetitive. I am repeating myself because I am trying to concentrate and talk at the same time. Anyway, Lisa posted recently, is what I'm trying to say, that she has made the decision that she won't do Advents again next year, which obviously is a shame for us who love getting her Advents, but it is absolutely what's going to be right for her and her family. So I think that's wonderful that she has made that decision to prioritize her personal life, because you've got to, and you know, her health and her kids and her husband. I think obviously, like, they are the most important things in life, and she shouldn't be neglecting them for us. So I think it's really fantastic that she has had that realization and has made that decision. But of course, it did make me want her Advent. And I'm sure that she would have sold out when she first released the Advents, but she was, I'm pretty sure, like, when she made that announcement, she was putting out like another call. Like, I think she planned to make more because it's going to be her last one. So I jumped on her website and I ordered both. I ordered the yarn collaboration one again, where she's doing the same thing. Each yarn mini is coming from a different indie Aussie dyer, local indie dyer. And each of the mini also comes with a stitch marker that she is making. So you have the option to just get that Advent, or just get the Advent that is her own tools and notions that she designs and makes. And of course you have the option to do what I did and buy both. So every second day of this Vlogmas, I am going to be opening 2 Advents from EleventyOne Windmills. I don't know why I've decided to do it this way, because I think she sort of sets it up where it's like she recommends you open a yarn Advent on the odd days and a tools Advent on the even days. What row did I just do? That row. What row did I do? Okay. Look at it. Looks cool. Let me just scroll and then I will try to remember what I'm talking about. Oh, I think this whole section was like considered. Oh, well, increases. The next, there's a heading. I've just hit a heading now, which is headband. So I guess I'm just knitting straight. You know what I should have done? I feel like I should have weighed this before I started, so that I could see when I got to halfway and check that I haven't gone past halfway in the pattern to make sure that I have enough. Anyway, what are you talking about? I don't even know. Hang on, let me have a sip of water. I am not used to talking this much. So, oh my gosh, there are 4 rows, and then I need to repeat the 4 rows 23 more times. I am definitely going to use this stitch counter to count how many times I have repeated the 4-row repeat. All right, talk and knit. Actually, you know what? No. I was gonna say, maybe I'll just knit 1 repeat and then I will leave you in peace. I might actually do that. Because I've been talking long enough. I will work until I finish this thought that I had, if I can remember what this thought that I had is. And then I will probably cut it short here because it's getting quite long. Probably had enough of me. Seeing me struggle. Oh dear, come on, I'm trying to do a decrease. Let me decrease. How is a decrease being harder than an increase? There we go. Oh my gosh, what was I saying? Yeah, so Lisa's Advent is like day 1 yarn, day 2 tools, day 3 yarn, day 4 tools. And I totally could have done it that way, and then the Fluff and Nonsense Advent is a 12-day Advent, and I was thinking I could have opened Tess's Advents with either one of Lisa's, so I could have done both of the yarns in one day and then the tools on its own, or I could have done Lisa's yarn one day and then Lisa's tools and Tessa's yarn on the second day. But I kind of felt like it just made more sense to do all of Lisa's together and all of Tessa's, well, all of Tessa's, there's just one, and do Tessa's one on its own. So clearly that is what I have decided to do. So if you're wondering why I'm doing it that way, that is why. This is the first year I have gotten more than 1 Advent. Well, technically I have 3, and last year I did get 2 Advents because I got 2 from Lisa. And this year I again have 2 from Lisa, plus 1 from Tess. But it is the first year that I have trying to count and talk. It's the first year that I have gotten an Advent from more than 1 maker. That was what I was trying to say. I'm sure you got that was what I was trying to say. What I think I'm going to do is finish this repeat, and then I will stop recording, and I will since this holds, since it's a stiff thing and the stitches don't fall out when I take my needle out like that, I will weigh what I have worked on and the yarn that is unworked. I will see exactly how much I have, and then every few repeats or so I'll have 24 repeats in total. I'll just weigh as I go, just to make sure that I'm not going to run out of yarn to get the pattern out, to get the pattern done. And once I am halfway or close enough to halfway through the yarn, I will just see what number repeat I am up to and make that my halfway point. I feel like I'm explaining things very badly, but I'm sure you're all smart people. I'm sure you understand what I am trying to explain as well. I really hope that you guys like this format as much as I like watching other people present in this format. And yes, tomorrow it will be, I think, a
mending project. I'm probably darning some socks, but don't quote me on that. I know that darning socks is on the list, but I don't know where on the list. I do think because a number of the projects are going to be Christmas ornament, Christmas related stuff, I have tried to put all of those more towards the end, so that as the month progresses, we just get more and more Christmassy. I'm a little bit sad to not be putting up the tree this year, but there's seriously no point if we decide to go away like we have been planning to. We're kind of just hesitating at the moment because where we're planning to go, it's going to be winter. So we're going to be escaping summer. I mean, neither of us are really big summer people anyway. But while I do prefer cold weather, I have never long-term stayed somewhere that is like really, really, really cold. Like almost snow cold or potentially snow cold. So that's the thing that's making us sort of hesitate about the plans that we have made. And then, of course, if we do go there, it kind of worked out that after I got through my list, I only had my list of projects that I could do this, that I only had 16 days worth, because potentially after that, if we do go away, then I will have to figure out how I do Vlogmas while we are gone, if I do decide to continue while we are traveling, because I don't know how editing will be. Anyway, I have finished the first 4-row repeat of the headband. There it is there. I don't know, I mean, there's not much to see yet, and I don't know how obvious the pattern will be. There's meant to be like, you can see, there's meant to be like eyelets there, but because of how the yarn is, it all just kind of looks holy, and it's obviously not going to fluff up and fill up. I still think it'll be quite pretty. It's a really interesting texture. But yes, oh, I need to, oh, I already put that on one. Yeah, this has taken me quite a while. Ooh. This has taken me quite a while to get up to this point. So I am going to stop here, stop recording, and come back to you when I have finished it, and also open up the Advent with you. All right, see you in a bit. The time has come for the moment you have all been waiting for, or at least the moment I have been waiting for all day, and that is the unboxing of my EleventyOne Windmills Advents. Before I jump into that, I just want to show you where I got to with the headband. I got halfway through those repeats, and I can't believe I thought I could do this all in one session. But that is it there. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm amused that because of the stiffness of the yarn, I'm amused at how much the knitting is curling. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with how it looks. Halfway through the pattern, and I have way more than half of the yarn left still to go. So I'm definitely going to have leftovers. Anyway, Advent time. So I have both boxes here. This is the tools, this is the yarn, and I think I'm going to start with the yarn. So let's have a look.
wonder if I can pinch this sticker. Ooh, yeah, I will peel that off later and I'm going to stick that into my diary. Anyway, ooh, that's such a pretty bag. I'm guessing that that's the one that I opened on the very last day, so I am going to resist and I'm going to pop that aside. And let's find day number 1. At the front there, day number 1. I must have gotten these mixed around. I think that's the yarn. That must be the yarn and this is the tools. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's open up day number 1. I will, I kind of wish I had made space to put that in my diary for yesterday. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I will still try to preserve that sticker. Okay, so what do we have in here? Oh, cute! Oh, it's so sweet. It's so pretty. I don't know how well, because I'm using my iMac and it doesn't have like the autofocus capabilities. If this isn't coming up clearly, then I'll maybe take another photo of it for you or a close-up little video to show you that, because the details on his little face is so adorable. And there's a cute little card there. I think, so just quickly, when I got the Creatures of Myth and Folklore one, I threw out all of these cards, the little things that came with it explaining what each thing was, and I kind of regretted doing that. So I think I'm going to hang on to these. I might actually, yeah, I don't know what I'll do. Anyway, I'm gonna hang on to these. I don't know what I will do with them, or yeah, I'll figure it out. For now, I'm going to leave that gorgeous little stitch marker in there. Pop it back in its box. No, I'll leave it there and I'll open the next box. All right, so box number 2. Ta-da! I only just realized that this box has a tiny little Y on it for yarn, so I had picked them correctly. Okay, so once again, I went to lift out this bag to show you that that would be the final day, and pulling that out revealed some cookies. I'm ridiculously excited for these cookies. I haven't had these before. I just really like cookies, and they're salted caramel, so even better. Thank you, that is so sweet. Can't wait to dig into those. And yes, another little baggie there. And I can see that the little package on the top here says 2. So this little box at the front, no, that's 10. Maybe the cookies is number 1. Is there? There's not a sticker on that. Maybe it's just, no, I'm, oh, it's all good. I forgot, yes, of course, for December 1 and for December 2. It's not, yeah, she had said that the tools was for opening every second day, and the yarn was for opening every first day, and I just completely forgot, so this is the one that I'm opening. Okay, I'm gonna see if I could just feel in here first and pull out the card explaining what the theme is before I pull out the actual thing. So day 2 is Tropical Ferns. Let's see what that's all about. Ooh, buttons! Oh, that's so sweet. Can you see those? So there are four that match, and then there's another 2 that match, if that makes sense. And the 2, the one that's the 2, I'm explaining this really badly. There are 6 buttons. 4 of them match and the other 2 match each other, and those ones are like little heart ferns. I'll take extra little videos of these, but like I said yesterday, green is my favorite color, and I love these. I'm gonna have to find a project to knit that needs buttons now. I can't think if there are any in my queue, but anyway, I can do my thinking without you all watching me. Thank you all for joining me here again today, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Friends, I'm back. I have just made a discovery. I was a little bit confused about why there wasn't any yarn. I know that the yarn box is meant to come with a stitch marker, and I was confused that day 1 only had the stitch marker. So I had another look in the box, and there's another little December 2 pouch, and this feels like yarn. So let me see what's in there. Sticker. There's another card for it. Oh, what is that? A Quetzal. I don't know that I have ever heard of a Quetzal, but if that is the colors, then I am very excited for this yarn, and what a magnificent tail that bird has. Anyway, stop looking at the photo. Let's look at the yarn, shall we? Oh, that is gorgeous. That's gorgeous. That's beautiful. Who is this? So this one is by Obsession Yarns. 75% Mirella, 75-25 merino nylon. Beautiful. So beautiful. That green there looks fluorescent. And the blue, the light blue there too, kind of like they look like highlighter colors. Stunning. It's so pretty. I'm blown away already, and this is just day 1. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Marie. I can't wait to just keep opening more goodies. Okay, now I'm going. See you tomorrow.